All right, boys and girls, welcome back to the drive-thru. Hungry? Stop by the deli. Get yourself some fresh-made bread from Mr. Crow. We're doing 4 problems today to help you guys out. This is 9-3 homework review. We're going to go number 5, 9, 10, and 12. Okay? So, number 5, I've got to continue to label it. We have a 3 here, an A here, a 3 radical 3 here, a B here, and a C here. So, part A says find A. Alright, so A is a part. Okay? We know the altitude, we know a part, and we know the other part. So the only thing we can do here is say that altitude squared is part times part. Okay, so 3 radical 3 squared is equal to 3a. Okay, so that is 3 radical 3 times 3 radical 3. I'm just going to write all this out because you guys struggle a little bit. So that could be written as 3 times radical 3 times radical 3. That's commutative. So this is 9 times 3. That's 27. So A is 9. You don't have to write all that out, but I wanted to write it all out for you because I know there are people that are struggling with working with radicals. Okay, part B. Find A times B. Find A times B. Well, I guess to do that, we'll just find B. I think that makes the most sense. So we'll move over here. All right, well, we know that leg squared is part times whole, with the whole thing kind of being the hypotenuse. Now we know that A is 9, so I can say that B squared equals 3 times 9. Wrong. B squared equals 3 times 12. Sorry. So B squared equals 36. Square root both sides. B equals plus or minus 6, but it's only 6 in this case because it represents the side length of a triangle. Just to reiterate that, I got the 3 because it was the part closest to the leg. The 12 is the whole thing. Notice that I first chose 9, which is the most common mistake, is to go part times whole instead of part times, to go part times part instead of part times whole. So for some reason they want the answer to be AB. So AB equals 9 times 6. So 54 is the answer for part B. Okay. And we'll squeeze part C right in here if we have a room. Find A plus B plus C. Okay. Well, to find C, we're going to have to use Pythag. And this is your Michael Jackson of right triangles. So, is that true? No, it's not. No, it's not. B is 6. This is actually a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So we'll just use Pythagorean theorem. 6 squared plus C squared equals 12 squared. So C squared is 144 minus 36. C squared is 108. Alright, so when I look at 108 and I take the square root of it, I know that 9 goes into it. So this is the same, square root of 108 is the square root of 9 times 12, okay? So it's 3 radical 12, but hold on. 3 radical 12 is not simplified either because 4 goes into that. So it's 3 times 4 times 3. It's 3 times 2 times radical 3. It's 6 radical 3. So C is 6 radical 3. So A plus B plus C is 6 plus 6 radical 3 plus 12, and that is 18 plus 6 radical 3. Sorry. I got that wrong. It's A plus B plus C, not the perimeter of the triangle. I have no idea why they want A plus B plus C, but it should be 3 plus 6 radical 3 plus 12, and that should be 15 plus 6 radical 3. Okay, thanks for bearing with me. Now we look at number 9. We know that it says HP is 50 degrees. Okay, and wants to find the measure of angle HJP. HKP. And HMP. Okay, so HJP is this angle right here, and it intercepts this arc. And so we very briefly talked in class last week that this angle is half the measure of that arc, which makes it 25 degrees. Well, HKP intercepts the same exact arc, same yellow arc. So that's also 25 degrees. And HMP intercepts the same arc, if you notice. So that is also 25 degrees. So remember that the measure of this is called an inscribed angle, is half the measure of the intercepted arc. That makes this one very quick. Number 10 asks for the measure of arc RH. This might be new notation for you guys. That is the measure of an arc of a circle. You measure arcs in degrees. They also have lengths, but lengths are not measured in degrees. They're measured in like inches. So since that's 90, the measure of arc RH is going to be 180 degrees, and that makes it a semicircle. Number 12, find the coordinates of point C. Well, here's point C. A is 12, 0. And B is obviously then 0, 12. Alright, so part A is pretty easy. C is 0, negative 12. Find the measure of the arc from A to B to C. From A to B to C. Okay? Well, that's 3/4 of a circle. And we measure arcs in degrees. Keep in mind, this 3/4 is actually 270 over 360, so the answer is 270 degrees. Part C. Find the length of ABC. Well, if you didn't know the equation for this, you should use the ratios that we learned last chapter. So you could say 3/4 of the circumference is basically what we're finding here. So 3/4 times, let's see, circumference is pi d. Our d is 24, okay? So 3/4 of 24 pi, and that's going to be 18 pi. Keep working hard. You guys are doing great. A lot of stuff going on in geometry. Drive through confessionals. Over. Boom.